Hi, hello, it's Sunday. That's such a TikTok opening, right? Like as soon as the video starts, but here we are. It is, what's the time? I don't know because I unplugged my clock because I moved some things around in the room. I'm currently sitting on the floor of my room with my dry erase boards on the floor. I have another one over there, but it already has some personal information on there, so I'm not going to show you, but there's another one over there. I've got my notebooks. Oh my gosh. Notebooks, planners, notes, the things. This is my planner. I still haven't gotten a new one yet, but I need to do that this week. I'll put that on my list of things to do. So I'm about to audit all of my, well, firstly, I'm going to go through my orders that came through this weekend. I did update my schedule on, was it yesterday or Friday? On Friday, I think. And I think I actually updated it yesterday, but I always check every single day just in case. I did miss something, like I go all the way back every day and make sure that I didn't miss anything, that there weren't any updates. So I'm going to do that. That's my non-negotiables. If you're here for a previous entry, I know I look kind of disheveled, but if you were here for a previous entry, you know that I was mentioning how I go throughout scheduling my day, my week on a weekly basis. I audit every week. So today's Sunday, there's no exception. That's what I'm about to do. So I start with what I call my non-negotiables, which are the things that I absolutely cannot miss in my week, no matter what. Now, that's going to range from person to person, but for me, it's usually two things. It's my orders for my clients, right? I have to do those. The money comes in online. I get paid. I must show up. Some people don't feel that way. For some people, it might be other things. That's my main priority because that is my job, that's my responsibility, that's my reputation. So that is always my number one. My number two is kind of likened to that, which is showing up for my clients. Training, that's a non-negotiable. I have clients, I have people that are depending on me. This is also my job, although a new one. It is also important to me, so I show up. That's kind of a non-negotiable. Everything else after that kind of revolves around those things, and I try to make sure that I prioritize understanding what time obligations I have towards those things. So checking in with clients to see if there are any changes in their schedule, checking in to see if and you know, prioritizing time to get new clients, checking in with my boards and platters clients, whether that's via email or responding to inquiries, whether that's double checking my calendar and making sure that my schedule and my planner reflects what's on there. If I have questions or if there are things I need to plan, for example, I have an order that is about an hour and change away this week, right? And there's also a setup involved. That setup was going to take me about 30 minutes to do, right? From the moment I get there, unloading generally, and then finishing. That all should take me about 35 minutes to do. I also have another delivery back on this side of town a few hours later. So I need to make sure that I have that schedule tight with a little bit of buffer in case there is an accident and I get caught up in traffic. And so I know exactly what time I need to leave, because that will also help me know how, and not that I'm going to move slower, but if I need to be cognizant of how quickly I am moving, I can make sure that I'm doing all the things that I need to do. And if I know that my time frame is really tight, what are things that I can do ahead of time to make that go even faster? So that's just an example. So I start with my non-negotiables. Those are it. So after my non-negotiables, those are my personal priorities, things that I want to make sure that I'm doing every week, because as much as I'd like to say personal comes first, like we do have to pay bills, and like we do have to kind of like survive. So, you know, obviously the things that do that is just like anyone else's 9 to 5. They gotta show up for work. Or if not, you know, things don't work out. So after that, those are my personal responsibilities. My own workouts are top, you know, one of the top things, making sure I'm eating and shopping for eating or cooking or whatever the case may be. Whether I'm giving myself time to plan and rest and actually sleep, and try to, at least. If you've been here for more than 2 days, you already know that is not my strongest category of life. We're working on it. And then other things like, are there people I need to catch up with? Are there people I need to follow up with? Are there personal things that I need to get done for myself? just little things like that. You know, do I need to go to the car wash? Do I need to wash clothes? You know, doing personal things for my body, my, you know, my mental health, all of those things. So after I look at what can I get done, what do I need to get done, I start to schedule those things in. And then all of my other tasks and to-dos that are around those things start to get scheduled into my week. So for example, if one of my goals is to post a certain social media, like a certain post on social media, what are the steps that I need to do to get that done? Let's say I want to post a certain video on Friday. Have I shot the video already? Okay, if I have, great. Have I exported it? Once I've exported it, did I upload it to CapCut? Did I edit it? If I did edit it and it's completely edited, has it been exported? Has it been transferred over? Is there a voiceover necessary? Is there music necessary? And once all that's done, have I written a caption and then scheduled it? That's just for one post, right? But because I have orders and clients and other things that I have to do, I have to make sure that I kind of put time to do those things. So it gets the little bit of time that you have that sometimes we waste, we can like fill in a lot. Whether that's like, oh, I have 10 minutes between this thing and that thing, that's enough time for me to start the exporting process, and it can be doing it while I'm gone. Things like that. So that's what I'm doing right now, and I've got all my whiteboards and all my calendars and things like that like spread out. I'll probably be doing this for like a good 2.5 hours because I'm doing it for everything, my personal life, my businesses, and for my upcoming goals that need adjusting. So what I do is like I plan out, at the beginning of the year, I created like a 2025, my brother calls it a manifesto, but essentially like a plan of how I wanted each of the months to go and what my overall goals were. And here's the thing about that, like, it's not a strict plan. It seems like a strict plan because it is highly specific, which it really was, like down to the week. But it's in here. But basically what I do is I go throughout the year, and as you can see, there's the edits. I go through and re-edit it. So what I think the plan is going to look like, I started this in October and I wrote it all out and I had it done before the end of the year. And like I started with each quarter, like what did I want 2026 to look like, and then I broke down backwards what I would need to get done to do that. And I'll be honest, like life has been giving me some hoops to jump through, which has shifted my plans. But because I have this, it allows me to kind of reprioritize and say, okay, where can I pivot? What is now no longer necessary? Does this still work for me? All of those things to still allow me to stay aligned where I can with those goals. Excuse me. So I'm going to be looking at that tonight too, and kind of looking at, okay, what did I do that I had already outlined? What haven't I done? What do I feel like still needs to be done, and what do I think is no longer necessary? What is now needing to be put into the priority list that wasn't a thing that I had to deal with when I first made this plan? And I try to do that on a monthly basis. I had not gotten a chance to do it at the first of the month or at the end of last month. So this is my time to do it now, and I feel like my head's a little bit clearer. So that's what I'm going to be working on. I feel like having I like to plan kind of farther ahead to have like a overall goal to be working towards. So I made a goal for 2026 of something that I want to accomplish, or like really what I just want my life to look like. That's really what it kind of is a reflection of, like what moves am I making and changes am I making to allow my life to look more like what I want it to look like and feel more like what I want it to feel like. And so when I made that plan, obviously there were a lot of things that were different about the world, about my life, and I always can go back to that and remind myself, like, you can still stay on track even when things are changing and shifting, good and bad, like indifferent. So I didn't think that I would be, personal training yet, if I'm being honest, when I made that plan. So even that in itself is an exciting venture that I get to fold into that and see, how does it get me towards my goal? How does it fit into the bigger picture? And just spending time with myself and with my goals. So if that's not something that you do, I really would encourage you to try it. Just spend some time with yourself and your goals and like write them out. And they don't necessarily have to have specificity. It does not have to be a bulleted thing. I've been making my like my plans and my schedulings and all this for years. This is something that I've enjoyed doing. It's since I was a little girl, literally. But I do think it's a skill set that's important for everyone to be able to have at different ranges. So even if that's just being able to sit down and say, okay, what if I had control of my life? If other factors did not impact it, what would I want my life to look like? And then like really asking yourself what's important to you. I know sometimes that can come with like a big monetary price tag, but outside of that, right? Not necessarily money. What do I want my life to feel like? What do I want to do? What do I want to enjoy? If I had all the things already, if that's what you need. But this is really more like not necessarily tangible things. The tangible, it's part of it, but it's not the goal. And so when you can write that down and get that down on paper and actually start to actualize that, I mean, I feel like, you know, people do this with vision boards. That's really popular to do at the end of the year. For me, this is my vision board. I write it down, I bullet it out, and I literally will chop it up. So I'll come up with a concept, and then I say, okay, how much time do I have to get there? What steps would it require? How much time do I need to get those things done? What do I need to get in place? And I just start working that thing backwards so that by the time I'm done planning, I already know, like I'm basically leaving breadcrumbs from the solution. I call it GPS in your life. Like you're creating the plan, you're creating the steps of where you're gonna go. Like, and also the thing about the GPS is like, if you get off track, it recalculates. It doesn't just say, oh, you got off track and now you're lost forever. No, it just recalculates, it reroutes you. And I feel like that's what your plans should be like. It's you come with a set plan, and maybe that is the ideal plan. It's the fastest route or it's the shortest period of time, but maybe there's an accident on that route and you have to go a different way, or maybe you missed your exit and now you have to reroute, or maybe some jerk wouldn't let you over and you couldn't make the turn that you need to, so now you gotta go extra block, but you're not familiar with it, so you gotta reroute. Like, stuff happens in life, but you can still keep your eye on the goal. And instead of crashing your car into a partition because you missed the turn, just take the next exit and reroute. Okay, period. That was cute. All right, anyway, we've talked enough. I hope you guys had a really good day. Let's see, daily recap, since that's part of the process at this point. I had deliveries today, talked to my mom, talked to my brother, talked to my friend briefly. What else did I do? Went to the store, cooked dinner, made some really delicious baked chicken with rice and vegetables. Simple, but delicious, did the job. And I have leftovers, so we love that. That's gonna be lunch tomorrow. What else did I do? Went to my storage unit. I did answer some emails this morning. Oh, and I got 6.5 hours of sleep. So I call that a win of a day. And I'm gonna wrap it up, plan this next week, get pumped up for an amazing week, and get excited to get some goals achieved and close some tabs. Like, I feel like right now I have a lot of tabs open in my life. This week is going to be what I call a week of completion. My goal is to take all those, as many open tabs as I have, I'd like to close as many of them. So if I have 15 open tabs of things that I'm working on or things that are in process, and I can only get 3 of them closed, I'm okay with that. But I want to close them. I don't like open-ended feelings, like I'm working on a lot of projects at once and not feeling like I'm getting things done in completion. That's not something I really enjoy. So that's the priority for this week. I hope you sit down and spend some time with yourself. Even if you're watching this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, give yourself permission to sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what do I want my life to look like? How can I create goals that reflect that? And then just start working towards that. And if and when life inevitably shakes up those plans, which it might, give yourself permission to pivot. That's what I'm going to continue to do. And I think that's what we should all do, because you can't control the weather, okay? But you can control what you do in it. Sometimes you dance in the rain, sometimes you go inside, whatever is best for you. So it just depends on how bad the storm is. Anyway, have a great night. Love you guys so much. Bye.